Hey guys, and welcome back to my third video. Today we're gonna be learning about a Python input, and it's gonna be very fun because it's so interactive. Okay, so let's go into whatever IDE you have. I have like Visual Studio Code. Today's agenda is basically like we're gonna learn about input, how to use it, and then we're gonna go over like variables again. So yeah, oops. Okay, so actually I'm gonna create a new file called input.py, or yeah, sure, input.py. So what I'm gonna do actually here is I'm gonna take an input from the user. So like whoever's using it, like down here, an input's gonna like come out. Like it's gonna ask you something, and then you have to type it in. So I'll tell you exactly how to do that right now. So, you know about variables, how they store things, right? So we can make a variable called like let's say user input. Now the reason we aren't gonna do just input, like let's say the user input is hello world, okay? But what if we do input is equal to hello world? Well, that's because input is actually a Python function. So you don't, like I said, you don't want to rename variables. You don't want to name variables after functions in Python. And input is a function that we're going to be learning about in this video. So, and you can see how it becomes colored. I don't know what color it would be for you, but for me it's a yellow. But yeah, so I know that this isn't just like white, so that means it has some importance. So that's why we don't want Python getting mixed up with this variable and then the actual function in Python. Now, you may not really understand functions right now, which is perfectly fine, but let me just let you know that functions just do something. So input is a function because it does something to something else, right? It takes the input from the user and puts it somewhere. So any special keyword, like in Python, you don't want to name variables after that. So I'm just going to remove this. Oops. Yeah, right. What is happening? All right. Okay. So let's say we're gonna store a string inside it. Remember, like a string is it's like a collection of many characters. So here's a string, and we put this string in the user input. So just imagine variables as some sort of like a container, and then you're gonna put an object in that container to store it in there. The object is this string, and we're storing this string in the variable user input. So whenever we want, we can just print user input. And by doing this, Python will retrieve the value of this variable and give us hello world. Okay, so now that we've again gone over variables, let's get to the fun part of this video, and let's start learning about input. All right, so first things first, we have to begin learning about input, right? So actually I made this variable called user input, and it stores a string. But this isn't entirely accurate because hello world is not an input that the user gave. It's an input that I, the developer, like of this program made, right? Like of this file, I mean. So like user input, what we have to do is we have to like make the user type in about like anything, right? And then we're gonna store that somewhere. So let me remove that, and I'm going to use the input function. So actually, I'm not gonna leave this blank, but let's go over to our agenda .txt file, and basically what we have. Let's read what I wrote here. How to use it? We have to store the user's input from the input function like this. Prompt equals to input. What's your favorite fruit? So let's actually copy that. So basically, this is like a syntax. How you use it. How do you use this? Like, for example, how do you use the word because? It's not like, my friend is very because, right? You use, it's because my friend is nice or something like that, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you here. We have to use stuff in Python like in the correct syntax, the correct way. Otherwise, it's going to give us an error. And this is how you use it. So you do prompt equals to, and then you put like an input like that. So basically input what's your favorite fruit. Now what we're telling Python to do here is to take an input from the user. We're going to ask the user, what is your favorite fruit? Like, we're gonna put it whatever we can put whatever we want in there. Let's say we want to ask them what their favorite color is. So we'll replace this fruit with a color. So what's your favorite color, right? So anyway, let's run this. And now it's asking me what's your favorite fruit. Now if I enter banana here, it doesn't actually do anything because we're just storing it in a variable. But let's say let's just print prompt. Let's print prompt. Okay. Fruit. What's your favorite fruit? It's a banana. No, actually, I'm just typing it in. Okay. So now it returns banana. Why does this happen? It's because this actually has a return value. This function, input what's your favorite fruit. This thing here asks me what my favorite fruit is, and then whatever I give here, whatever input I put in there, it's stored in this variable prompt. So this is pretty unique. I know it can be a bit confusing, or maybe not, but like, input what's your favorite fruit, and then from this function, this function carries a value. Okay, so first it asks me what my favorite fruit is, right? But then I tell it my favorite fruit. Let's say, I put it in banana, right? So now its return value is banana. And now where does that value go? We have to store this value, banana, somewhere. So we put it in the variable prompt. And actually, banana is a string, right? It's like a combination of characters. It's not an integer, float, or boolean. It's a string. So now when we print that like variable, if you print prompt, then it's like we're opening that like that container. Okay, like that jar. Prompt is a jar which has the value banana. We open now by printing prompt, we're retrieving the value of what prompt is. Right? And what value does the variable prompt store? It stores the value banana because that's what the user entered from when Python asked them what their favorite fruit is. So now when we do print prompt, it's gonna print whatever value prompt was carrying, which is banana. So what's your favorite fruit? Banana. Let me just walk you through it one last time. So look what happens here. What's your favorite fruit? Okay, it asks me that, and I say banana, right? I say banana, and this prompt variable stores that banana string. Okay, and now that when we print prompt, it'll print whatever value prompt had, which is banana. So it's storing banana, right? So what's your favorite fruit? Banana, and now it prints back banana. Same thing we can do here. We can just alter. You can play around with it. What is your name? I'm gonna enter my name, and it returns my name to you. My name to me, right? Okay. So that's all I wanted to show you in this video. And actually, there's one last thing. You don't actually have to store input in some variable. What you can do instead is you can just do this. there. Instead of having to put the input in a variable and then printing that variable, we could just print the value of the input like just like that, because this is more simple. But in the future, let's say we want to use prompt 5 times. We're not gonna use this every time, right? Like for example, let's say let's go back. Prompt, what is your name, right? Print prompt, and then let's actually copy this line, and we're gonna keep repeating it, okay? Now it's gonna print my name a lot of times, so name. But if we had, let's say, this is so easy, right? Print prompt, print prompt. So like, but then if you did it the other way around, then that would be harder and longer to do, and we might have to use prompt later for other reasons. Let's say we don't want to print. Oh, Control Z is going crazy. Okay, so let's say we don't want to use this input for just printing. We can use it for another thing that we can, like, add something to it. Something that we'll learn over this series. But basically, we can do other things with this input, and we don't want to keep asking the user what input it is. How about we just ask them once, put it in a variable, and now use that variable whenever we want, right? Okay, so that was it for this video, and see you in the next video.